In a galaxy ruled by unbreakable laws and cold-hearted empires, one fragile human did the unthinkable. She died and came back stronger than any life form ever imagined.
Ow.
This isn't a story about power. It's a story about what happens when you push the wrong species too far. Her name is Alexandra Mason. Her death was supposed to be a message. But what came next changed the universe forever. The trial of Alexandra Mason, *, the grand execution. Chamber of the Galactic Council was packed with leaders from hundreds of alien species. Everyone was there for a very special reason. Something was about to happen that had never happened before. At the center of it all stood Ira, the High Executor of the 7th Quadrant. He had overseen many punishments and deaths before. But today, he was more excited than ever. "Fellow members of the Council," said, his voice buzzing with pride, "we are here for something truly historic. Today, we prove once again that our power cannot be challenged." The chamber was a giant room made from the strongest material in the universe, parts of a neutron star. It had 3 artificial gravity wells, and it was filled with aliens from over 200 species. Some floated in the air like the Mistwalkers, whose bodies were made of gas. Others were made of crystals, like the Petra Collective, shining in many colors. Even mysterious creatures like the quantum swimmers, who existed in more than one dimension at once, were watching. Ira raised one of his forearms and gave an order. "Bring in the specimen." Suddenly, a glowing cube appeared in the center of the room, a containment field. Inside floated a human woman, held in place by invisible gravity forces. Her name was Alexandra Mason, a captain from Earth, captured when she tried to create peace between humans and the Council's empire. One of the Council's leaders, Grand Sovereign Extrol, looked at her with disgust. "So weak," he hissed, his skin changing colors in anger. "So simple. Humans are nothing but primitive creatures." Other aliens agreed, buzzing and flashing their bodies in support. Then Ira continued, "This human had the nerve to say her species deserved a place in our galaxy's leadership. She even claimed that humans had something we didn't: adaptability and resilience. We will show her what happens to species that think they're equal to us." A scientist named Miravel moved forward. She was curious about Alexandra. "Her brain is very interesting," Mira said, her many tentacles typing on a glowing screen. "Humans feel so many emotions. Their minds are always changing. Fascinating." But then, a loud stomping sound echoed. It was Commander Dorn, the head of security. "Enough science talk," he growled. "Let's show everyone what happens when humans overstep." The room fell silent. Only the humming of machines and life support systems could be heard. Then Ira spoke in a cold, official voice. "Alexandra Mason, you are accused of crimes against the natural balance. Your kind is dangerous. Your punishment will be a warning to Earth and anyone else who dares to rise against us." Everyone waited for Alexandra to scream, beg, or cry. Instead, she did something no one expected. She smiled. "You really love hearing yourself talk, huh?" she said to Ira, her voice calm and even amused. The crowd gasped. No one had ever dared to speak to the Council that way, especially not someone who was about to be executed. Ira's body shook with anger. "Start the extraction process," he ordered. "Let's see how long she keeps smiling once we start." Collecting her pain to entertain the Council, machines in the chamber lit up. Metal arms and glowing tools moved toward Alexandra, ready to begin the extraction. A cruel process meant to torture her mind and body while others watched. But Alexandra wasn't afraid. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She looked straight at them and said, "Just remember, you chose this. Whatever happens next, it's your fault." Some of the aliens noticed strange things in the air, tiny shifts in time, weird energy readings. But they didn't think much of it. They should have, because what was about to happen would change the galaxy forever. The extraction begins *. The room went quiet as strange machines surrounded Alexandra Mason. The glowing cube she was trapped in buzzed with new energy. Sharp-looking tools and floating probes appeared from hidden spots in the chamber walls. These weren't for medical testing, they were designed to harvest pain. The High Executor, Irar, raised his arms proudly. For the record, he said loudly, this is the 723rd species that has dared to challenge the Galactic Council's power. Like all the rest, this one will fall. Around the chamber, alien leaders watched closely. Alexandra's vital signs appeared on floating screens, heart rate, brain activity, and even her pain levels.
What?
Most species would have been screaming by now. But Alexandra didn't even flinch. Her heart rate stayed calm. Her face showed no fear. In fact, she was still smiling. Strange, whispered Chief Scientist Miravel. Her body should be under serious stress. But she's not reacting the way we expected. Increase the neural stimulation by 30%, Ira ordered. More energy filled the containment cube. Alexandra's body tensed, her muscles tightened. Blood began to trickle from her nose. But she still didn't cry out. Instead, she laughed. That caught everyone off guard. You still don't get it, do you? Alexandra said between quiet laughs. Humans have been hurting each other for thousands of years. We're used to pain. Gasps and confused signals came from across the chamber. Commander Dorn frowned. Even though he was tough, the situation was starting to make him uneasy. Something feels off, he said, adjusting his armor. Most prisoners are begging for mercy by now. This is just human arrogance, Ira replied, brushing off the comment. She thinks she's strong. But in the end, she will break like all the others. Then, something unexpected happened. The quantum swimmer, a being who existed in multiple dimensions, suddenly sent out a warning. Temporal fluctuations detected. Her body is doing something strange. But Ira ignored the alert. Turn the power up to the maximum, he said. The machines fired again. Alexandra's body began to shake violently. But instead of looking like she was dying, she began to glow. Her skin lit up with a strange golden light. Vital signs are approaching. Critical, Miravel reported nervously. But this doesn't make sense. Her cells are changing on a quantum level. Everyone in the chamber leaned forward, confused. This had never happened before. Alexandra wasn't dying in the usual way. Her body was doing things that no other living creature had ever done during an execution. Commander Dorn looked alarmed. We need to stop the procedure. Something is very wrong, but Ira refused. No, this ends now. She will be destroyed, and we will show the galaxy our power. The containment cube started to break apart. Alexandra's body lifted, glowing brighter than ever. Her vital signs flatlined. She was declared dead. A quiet, cold feeling spread through the room. Death confirmed, Miravel said softly. The council celebrated. They believed the threat was over. Mistwalkers relaxed. The Petra Collective returned to their regular crystal patterns. The chamber echoed with victory. But just as they began the disposal process, things started to go wrong. The machines meant to destroy Alexandra's body shut down. The lights flickered, probes exploded, and then her body began to glow again. Impossible, Miravel whispered, frozen in shock. She's still doing something. Her cells are rewriting themselves. The room's temperature dropped. The energy fields fluctuated. Strange sounds filled the air like whispers coming from nowhere. Alexandra Mason had officially died. But somehow, she was still changing, and the Galactic Council had no idea what they had just unleashed. The return of Alexandra Mason, * the chamber, was supposed to be silent, calm after the execution, but it wasn't. Instead, the temperature dropped again, and the glowing cube around Alexandra's body pulsed like it was alive. The probes meant to destroy her had exploded. Red warning lights flashed across the room. Alarms began to sound. And then, Alexandra Mason's body started to move. Her arms floated upward. Her head tilted back. Her skin cracked open like porcelain, and a golden light poured out. Her dead body was doing the impossible. It was coming back to life. This can't Be real, whispered Miravel. Her body is rebuilding itself, but not with normal cells, with something new, something we've never seen. Her glow got brighter. The members of the Petra Collective made of crystal started shaking with fear. The Mistwalkers, usually calm and elegant, swirled into tight, anxious forms. We need to get out, shouted Commander Dorn, trying to activate emergency escape. But the chamber doors sealed shut. No one could leave then. Alexandra opened her eyes. They were no longer normal. Her eyes were glowing gold like stars burning from inside her. And that smile, the same one she had before dying, was still on her face. The restraints that held her melted, turning into liquid metal. Metal didn't fall to the floor. It started orbiting around her, floating like rings around a planet. She wasn't just alive, she was something else. How is this possible? Ira shouted, clearly terrified now. Alexandra finally spoke, her voice soft but powerful. It echoed across the chamber and through the minds of every being inside, even the ones that didn't speak. Human languages. You gave me 37 minutes, she said, and I used them to study death from the inside. The chamber was frozen with fear. Her body now looked like it existed in multiple realities at once. Larger and smaller, closer and farther, all at the same time. She wasn't just walking. Anymore, she was floating, glowing, changing. Commander Dorn shouted, "Use lethal force. Attack." Weapons popped out of the walls, lasers, energy beams, deadly blasts, all aimed at Alexandra. They fired, but nothing hit her. The beams stopped midair, then gently spun around her body like glowing ribbons. Alexandra wove them into her hair like they were decoration. "Death isn't an ending," she said with a smirk. It's a door, and you just taught me how to unlock it." The Mistwalkers tried to escape through the ceiling by turning into gas. Alexandra looked at them and froze them midair, turning them into beautiful crystal statues. "Stop this," Irar screamed. "This is a violation of natural law." Alexandra looked at him calmly. She raised one hand, and his shimmering blue scales turned into real gold. The weight dropped him to the floor with a loud clang. "You speak of natural law," she said, her voice now surrounding everyone at once. "But you never asked why humans believe in gods, heaven, rebirth." "Thought we were primitive?" She floated higher. Her body became harder to describe, not just human anymore, but a mixture of energy, light, and memory. Her hair flowed like stardust, and her feet never touched the ground. "You made one mistake," she said. "You thought because you conquered us, you understood us." Suddenly, the chamber's walls turned transparent. Everyone could see the entire galaxy outside, where a fleet of warships was waiting. "Watch carefully," Alexandra whispered. "It's time for your real lesson." Her body flared brighter than a star, and everyone covered their eyes. She began to change again. Wings of light stretched from her back. Her voice thundered through space itself, and every rule of science and physics simply stopped working. She had died, but she had come back not just stronger. She had come back different. And now, nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same. The rise of something greater, the Council Chamber. Once the most powerful place in the galaxy, now felt like a cage, and Alexandra Mason held the key. She hovered in the air, glowing brighter than any sun. Da-da-da! Her body no longer looked like a normal human. She was part light, part energy, and something more. Something that didn't fit into science anymore. Weapons fired at her again, this time from the ceiling, the walls, and even emergency turrets hidden in the floor. None of it worked. The lasers curved around her. The blasts turned into glowing birds. Explosions transformed into soft music that filled the air. "You still don't get it," Alexandra said, floating higher. "You didn't kill me. You gave me access to something you couldn't understand." She raised one hand, and the walls of the chamber changed. They became see-through. Outside, the entire war fleet of the Galactic Council floated, ready to attack. Thousands of ships brimming with weapons, Enough firepower to wipe out dozens of planets. Watch closely, she whispered. This is what happens when you teach a human what death really means. The ships began to change. One by one they melted, not with heat, but with possibility. The solid metal turned into glowing clouds of light. Looked like the ships were becoming ideas instead of objects. She's dissolving them, shouted Commander Dorn. She's turning our fleet into particles. It's not destruction, Miravel whispered in awe. It's transformation. Then Alexandra smiled again, that same smile that never went away, not even when she died. Do you know what we humans call this kind of moment? She asked the silent crowd. Karma. She stretched out both arms. The energy around her changed color, now swirling in bright golds, reds, and silvers. Symbols danced in the air around her body, shifting through languages that hadn't been spoken in 1,000 years. All the pain you caused, she said softly. It's coming back to you now. And it did. The aliens in the chamber, the proud leaders of the council, began to feel something deep inside. Memories, suffering, not their own, but the pain they had caused others. All the species they had crushed. All the civilizations they had erased. They felt it as if they were the ones who had been conquered. Tears formed in their many eyes. Their bodies trembled. Their minds shook with the weight of every horrible thing they had ever done. You enjoyed my suffering, Alexandra said, her voice still calm. Now you'll experience it yourselves, not as punishment but as education. The chamber's machines started changing. Screens turned into images of history, Earth's history. Wars, disasters, brave humans rising from ashes, and people helping each other in times of great loss. We don't give up, Alexandra said. When things break, we fix them. When we suffer, we grow stronger. When we die, she paused and looked directly at Irar, who was now crouching behind his command podium. We come back different. Irar tried one last time to speak. You can't rewrite the laws of nature. Alexandra floated close to him. Her glowing eyes were endless, like galaxies. Why not? She whispered. You thought they were unbreakable until I broke them. Then the chamber itself began to shift. The metal melted into music notes. The floor became a stage. The weapons on the walls turned into spotlights. We used to rule the galaxy. Grand Sovereign Extrol mumbled, his voice shaking. And now, Alexandra said with a sparkle in her voice, you're going to help rebuild it as artists, performers, storytellers. The council members looked around, confused. It's not revenge, she added. It's your second chance. In that moment, the galaxy's strongest. Empire wasn't destroyed by war, bombs, or fire. It was changed by something more powerful. A new beginning asterisk. It's been 10,000 years since Alexandra. Mason came back from the dead. The galaxy has changed completely. The Galactic Council, once feared for its power, is now something very different. A theater company. Ah, so you read that right. The same leaders who once ruled through fear now spend their lives performing human stories on glowing stages made of starlight every night. They act out plays about Earth, our pain, our love, our failures, and our strength. And they do it because Alexandra made them understand something simple but powerful. Life is better when it's shared, not controlled. Alexandra still exists, somewhere out there. She's no longer just human. She's something brighter, something bigger. She appears as a beam of light, a song in the wind, a star in the sky, always watching. It's always smiling. Every performance ends with the same words she spoke before. Changing everything, humans don't just survive, we evolve. And that's the lesson the galaxy never forgot, because Alexandra Mason didn't just defeat an empire, she rewrote the future.